I have a bad habit of trying to turn every character in this game into a DPS. Now, sometimes it works and sometimes not so much. And there is one Anemo character that I've been waiting to try as a DPS for quite some time now. And no, it's not Venti, it is what he is allergic to. Today, I want to try to build a main DPS Lynette. Because you see, I've been waiting to do this until I got C6, and I realized yesterday I already have C6. Of course, the first step of this process is actually ascending and leveling her, which is easy enough until you run into the point where I don't have any more boss drops. We also have quite a lot of work to do in terms of these talents. And contrary to the talent upgrade recommendations, we need to be focusing a lot on her normal attacks. Luckily for us, we already have a weapon that fits perfectly for the build that we'll be trying to go for. As for artifacts, I believe this will work very nicely. Now, perhaps there's a specific 4-set that would work even better than just going as two pieces on her, but this doesn't require me to farm anything, and it gets her stats looking like this, with of course our 79% Anemo damage bonus. As for teams, there are two that I'm interested in. First up is a very Anemo heavy team, and this team is not very free to play friendly. We have of course the C6 Lynette, a C2 Farina on either the key or her signature weapon depending on what we want, a C5 Jean, of course the C4 is what we're actually using this for, and how could we forget about C6 Farazan. The other team would be focused on electrocharged. In typical Java fashion, I'm going to make this harder than it needs to be, which means I'll be attempting to use this team to farm for this team. I only see this working perfectly. So look at this damage. It's crazy. It's insane. Ignore the fact that the supposed supports on this team are doing more than the main DPS. That's not something we need to draw attention to. Also, the fact that she may or may not have just died, but I will not confirm it. A flawless first fight. Now we just have to do that way too many more times. Okay, look, she died again here, but I gotta say, I swapped to the other team, and it performed... it performed better in terms of damage. Technically, two characters did die, so maybe you would consider that performing worse. Also, I've got to say, you know, bosses, they respawn instantly now. It's great, except for this one. Because yes, they start dancing again after a few seconds, but I still got to go back up here and respawn it every time. Since I had to go heal anyways, let us come to the city and do some crafting, which will allow us to ascend Lynette once again. If I'm using her in the Farina team, it might be smarter to not even run Anemo damage bonus since she ascends into it. I have a feeling we will be over capping on that, and that is her off piece, so I could just put her on attack percent instead. But we'll wait until later to test that out to see which actually performs better. For now, it is talent time. And this girl, you know, she performed a magic trick with her brother, right? They're magicians, so she's got to be pretty talented. You could say I'm just building her to be lore accurate. I did show you guys a boss fight with the first team. Now allow me to show you it with this team. Although I should probably get all my bursts on everyone first. Otherwise, it won't be much of a showcase. All right, here we go. We'll set up one of those. Burst here to get all of the good stuff. Set up our supports, run in, and we missed our crit. Beautiful, you love to see it. I think just a touch of the damage might be coming from some of the other characters and not Lynette herself. But shush, we don't talk about it. She hit 34,000 on her skilled intro attack. I don't know what to call it. The first hit of her skill. And if nothing else, she's really good at dying in this fight. Let's go up another ascension, which does get us a brand new passive, making her burst deal 15% more damage, even though I'm not really focused on the burst. But more damage is more damage. Speaking of more damage, let's level up these talents, which of course is going to require a bit more farming. Because in case you didn't know, Genshin Impact is actually a farming simulator in disguise. Please save me. I don't want to be here. Hey, can you guys do me a favor and just completely ignore the fact that I swapped to a different team to speed this up? We don't need to mention this, okay? Look at that. How could I say no to that? So after a couple more runs, we can ascend Lynette again. Unfortunately, even with the fragile resin that I do have, I will not be able to farm enough of these to max ascend her right now. But I can go ahead and bring her normal attack to level 8, which for this build I think is going to be the most important of her talents. However, I should be able to finalize farming for her tomorrow. We have 13 drops and we need 20. While we wait for our resin to regen, let's just go over this build. Due to our C6, when we use her skill, we get Anemo Infusion and 20% Anemo damage bonus. Then because of our C4, we get another charge of the elemental skill. With 2 charges of the skill, a 6-second infusion time, and a 12-second cooldown on the skill, we can essentially have infinite uptime. Her weapon also gives her a 12% elemental damage bonus, and then a bunch of stuff that's not important, but essentially when she uses her skill, she gets a normal attack damage bonus. There are artifact sets that boost normal attacks, so something like 4-piece gladiator is probably probably a smarter idea, especially if I'm running her with Farina, because we are going to be having a way too much Anemo damage bonus. So her stats might have suffered a little bit, but I did change her over so that she would be on a 4-piece set of Gladiator instead. And now these are the stats we're working with a 64% Anemo damage bonus before any of the buffs. I'm not too worried about energy recharge because her burst is not going to be where the majority of her damage is coming from. But yapping aside, let's go do the Hilichurl test, a patented test that we always do when we're testing out a new damage dealer or really any character. So we're gonna do no buffs because they'll die instantly if I do that. We'll just use our skill, we'll start hitting, and we can see the damage is really not. I have a feeling I know exactly how this is about to go, but I'm hoping that I'm wrong so we can actually test out damage here. So put this up. Okay, cool. We'll do one of those. Yep. About what I expected. It died before Lynette got to hit the field. That's all right. We'll save the damage tests for tomorrow after I max ascend her. Now that it is the next day, we should be able to max ascend Lynette. And if I can get 4 boss drops on either of the first 2 attempts, I don't have to do a 3rd attempt. So let's see if we can get a little lucky. We actually do. I was so prepared to say we cannot. Meaning, we have exactly enough of the boss drops. We just need 6 of these gemstones. Then we can come in and max ascend her. While I could bring her straight to level 90, I am kind of running low on character XP, and there's going to be new characters that I want to build in the near future, so I'll just go to level 81 for now. All that's left to do is test this character out, which arguably could be either the most fun part or the most disappointing part. Then because we're basing this a lot on normal attack damage, we're not really here to see how big of a number we can hit. It's more or less just seeing if this team is decent, at least. The one thing that is definitely worth noting is that on this team, Jean should be on a noblesse set, not viridescent, because this doesn't help us at all. But I really don't have many pieces in the way of noblesse. I'm also in the boss fight, so I can't swap the pieces anyways. But after this fight, I'll probably go in and try to get her on that set. Though we'd better be able to one-cycle this, or else I will be vehemently disappointed. Let's put up all of our buffs. Okay, skill. Oh, didn't get to hit it very much, but it did die. So right now we destroyed some other builds, but Jean is on 4-piece noblesse and apparently has 251% energy recharge. Maybe slightly overkill, but that's fine. I think the best way to test out this team or this character in general is the Spiral Abyss. We'll start on floor 11 because I feel like 9 and 10 will be too easy. An Anemo team would definitely perform nice on the first half. Then I did just destroy Bennett's build so that I could get Jean onto the noblesse set. So my Bennett's kind of bad right now, but at the end of the day, it is still a Bennett. Let's see how this team performs. I guess I'll just start bursting, because why not? Set up everything here, put up one of these, maybe throw up the burst for fun, and then start attacking. It's decent. And Jean pretty much always has her burst available, which is nice. I gotta say, having a lot of Anemo for this specific rotation is actually great. Yeah, sometimes the monolith floors can be a little annoying, but that was easy. That's a nice 3 stars for the first chamber. Ooh, and then we get normal attack damage. Although before I continue here, there is something I want to check. I need to know if I've been very stupid. Essentially, I just want to make sure that when we get this Anemo infusion, it's not considered skill damage because I used my skill to get it, but nothing there says it is, so I'm assuming it is counting it as normal attack damage. Once again, let's set up all of our buffs, which kills everything in it, but then we get to do 61k on the initial hit of the skill, and then pretty decent damage on all of these hits. And my Farina has pretty bad energy recharge. Oh, they're dead. I was gonna say, luckily Farina has not been struggling with that, but I didn't think they would die that fast. That is 3 more stars for us. More energy recharge. Exactly what Jean wants. Unfortunately, I do have to leave my circle impact a lot with this, and that circle is what gives us the 40% additional Anemo res shred thing. What am I even saying? You know, thinking and fighting doesn't work so well for me. I will say we are struggling a bit more on this one because some of the shields we just don't have the right elements to break through, but we still got 3 stars, so it doesn't matter. Which brings us to floor 12, a floor that I very much do not like. And I guess if we're gonna bring in mostly Anemo team, it can't be the second half. This is where I expect the team to not work quite as well, but I'm hoping to be proven very wrong. I will say there is quite a high satisfaction factor with seeing all of the swirling numbers. Oh, geez, and even Farzan hits pretty hard. But to be fair, she is kind of on a DPS-ish build. They're doing pretty good here, though. Like, that's a decent clear time. Oh, is second half gonna be 5 individual enemies, it is... Oh, that sucks. Just do it all at once. Why we gotta spread it out? And I do kind of want to save my bursts, so I'm not gonna use them here. And we have plenty of time, so it doesn't matter. There we go. 3 stars, chamber 1. I will take my attack percent, and we'll see if our skill can continue. I would say the biggest downside of this team is Farina's energy recharge, but that's been an issue on my account for quite a while now. I have just yet to get better artifacts to fix that. This is so satisfying, though. Lynette's doing pretty decent. I mean, normal attacks hitting for over 10k each is nice. Even if it might not be the best performing team, it's very satisfying to use. We did dip under the 8-minute time, but I definitely didn't play it optimally. Towards the end, I ended up... Oh... This idiot. How is this gonna go exactly? I'm not sure. How much damage we do? Not quite enough. Can I do plunging attacks with this? Oh, I can. Of course you can plunge with a bike. Why not? In what world could you not do a plunging attack with a bike? A world that I would not want to live in, that's for sure. So after a couple more donuts, this thing is gonna go down. Okay, not quite yet. This thing goes down. I gotta be honest. I'm completely shocked that we are performing this well. I know the Mavwika team is really strong, but still, I'm using main DPS Lynette, and it's actually working. So let's not jinx it too early. I might restart this because I'm a little confused by something. I just want to test it. It seemed like Farazan's skill did not generate her any particles after using it twice. I don't know if that's actually how that works. Ooh, 60-something thousand? Why did I spam the skill again? I'm bad at the game, that's why. Who said that? I know I've said it a lot, but it's a really satisfying team. Only way for it to be more satisfying is if Farina could get her burst back when I need it. But that'll require a lot of farming on my part. Wow. That was pretty good. We finished the first half with, a good amount of time remaining. Also, this guy's invincible right now, right? Fantastic. How much damage can I do here, assuming I hit it? Oh, nice. Oh, and an achievement. I don't think I've ever fought this boss on this account now that I think about it. This is so funny. The poor guy can't move. This was actually one of the easier Spiral Abysses I've done in a while. I don't know if that's because the actual rotation was easier. It usually isn't. Or perhaps DPS Lynette is just that strong. I did also mention that I was going to potentially try out an attack percent goblet instead. The only issue with doing that is that if I try to set up a full rotation on almost any enemy in this game, it's going to die before I get a chance to see the damage. But for the Farina team, I do believe attack percent to be better. Oh yeah, I also forgot that Farina was not on her signature for that, which for the most part just increases her personal damage, and that's not what we're here to see anyways. Oh, you know an enemy that won't die to a damage test? It is one that will probably result in my characters dying instead. The local legends of Netlin. Best part is I do need to farm energy first, which is gonna go really well. I just need to not get hit at all, and that should be very easy for a skilled gamer like myself. Oh, I forgot you could just pick her up and chuck her. Of course, this one doesn't take fall damage like the capybara does. I didn't get hit there, actually. What you might have thought was me getting hit was me... Okay, no, I got hit. I don't have an excuse for that. It actually does seem like Farazan's skill does not generate particles, because I do that and I get none, which maybe is something that I should have known, but I didn't. But back to our damage testing, which might be a little hard to see Lynette's damage between all of the other Anemo things going on screen, but let's set this all up and see how it goes. We'll set up this, into that, and then, so missed the crit on the initial hit, which is really good for us. This thing must also have a lot of resistances because our damage is not as good as it was in the Spiral Abyss, and we're dead. What I'm gonna do now is switch back to the other artifact that we were using, which I believe was this one. We will do the same exact rotation, then I'll go back to review the footage and see which one did more damage with our normal attacks. So we shall set this up the exact same way, and we did crit that time, but we're not gonna be looking at that damage. We're looking at the normal attacks themselves. So there we go. We died again, just like last time. Time to go review the footage. Here we are in reviewing mode. As we could see, we set up our stuff. Very nice. Okay, Lynette missed that crit right there. Awesome. And then hit like a 6,000, hit a 13,000 normal attack, 9,000, another missed crit looks like. Some 5,000s and 9,000. Not that great. There's a 26k in there. Then we came back with the Anemo damage bonus. Same setup. Of course, this time we did crit on the initial hit. Then a 6,000, a missed crit. Very cool. There's a 25k in there, but that might be from something else. That might be Farazan. There's a 12k, definitely from Lynette. A 9k. 6k, 15k behind the 15k of the blue, 12k, 25k probably Farzan again. From what I could tell, it's pretty close, but the attack percent did give us a little more damage. Not only that, but I came into this fight with almost max HP, meaning that Farina didn't get a ton of time to build up her fanfare, which would make the attack percent build even stronger. I did also mention earlier that I wanted to test out this electro charged team, and in this instance, the Anemo damage bonus is definitely better, though there is 0 sustain on this team, which for the average Genshin player would make it kind of hard to use. Of course, I won't struggle at all with that. But because Electrocharge is pretty nice for multiple enemies, I unfortunately do think the Spiral Abyss is still the best place to test it. This will pretty much be my first time using this team, so I expect it to go flawlessly, as I definitely know proper rotations. Look at this. Look at all the stuff that's happening. I will say it doesn't feel as smooth as the other team. I thought that having 3 Anemo characters would make the team not that great, but it was definitely performing better than this one. Though I do think Electrocharged is just my favorite reaction in the game, and ever since it got a buff, I've been wanting to build it everywhere. Though sadly, I do not have an Aurora on this account, which is completely fine. I was curious which one I would like more, and I really thought it was going to be this one, but it is in fact this team. And I think we can notice a bit of a trend here. Lynette C6 infuses her attacks with Anemo. Infusion, very cool, right? What's another character that I've built as a main DPS? Nilou, who also infuses her attacks with Hydro. Who's my main? Raiden Shogun, whose burst lets her infuse her attacks with Electro. I tend to like characters that infuse their attacks with the element. I'm sure I'll also get at least one comment pointing this out, so I'll just address it now. Bennett will not work with Lynette, because if I put down his burst and then use her skill, I'm instead infused with Pyro rather than Anemo. And that is because I have C6 Bennett. So her initial hit of this skill will hit for higher damage, but then we get no Anemo bonuses. If it was C5, then I probably could make a pretty good team using him, though that is sadly not the case. Now, something that I am very much aware of is that you kind of could slot in any Anemo DPS in this slot. So for example, you could just put Heizo there, and that would work really well. And actually, if I was going to do that, I would swap Jean out for Bennett, and that would work even better. But because of Lynette C6, I have been wanting to try it out for a while, and I'm happy to say I'm really not disappointed. I did not expect us to clear the Spiral Abyss on floor 12 at all. With that being said, though, I hope you guys did enjoy, and as always, I will see you all next time.